may have seen the thumbnail and you're like, no, what? Minecraft? What is happening? What's happening? And yes, it's going to be Minecraft. And the reason is I've played a mod pack for a few weeks now, which is such an insane mod pack. And it comes from a mod pack I used to play. And I even made a pack for that actually called Chat's World, which is really interesting. And it was based on Millenaire. And if any one of you hardcore Minecrafters know, the Millenaire pack was amazing. Well, this pack is almost the same. It's called MineColonies. And it's actually a little bit different, where Millenaire would be you seeing several cities around you managing themselves. This is actually a city you manage completely and utterly. And you have many tools with this. For example, I have a resource scroll book, which contains several resource scrolls and inventory scrolls. For example, this white inventory scroll is linked to my warehouse, and I can see all the items in my warehouse. And this over there is my warehouse. And this warehouse is managed by 2 couriers, which have little stations here. And they ensure that everything else is completely supplied. So every other building. We have a little hospital here as well. And you see you have people running around. And someone is sick here. And he say, I want to be cured and going to need some inventory. So let's give them some. Oh, he's instantly taking it. I used to have to do this manually, but now I have a doctor who can do it for me, which is great. So let's make sure he has all the stock he needs. He's going to need carrots. He's going to need potatoes. And he probably will need some poppies and some dandelions. And I bet he can use some kelp as well. So as you can see, I gave him minimum stock. Now the warehouse is forced to make sure he gets this. If it's, of course, in the warehouse. Well, if I would check, do I have carrots here? I have some. Do I have potatoes? I have some. I'll be fine. And he will make sure this one is healed. He's already healed and he's up and running. So this is how it works. Everything is managed from your center building, which is the town hall, of course. You can see everything there. You can see a little town map. I have to add more maps. This is just the center. You can upgrade it, and you see you need a lot of items. And there's also a mod called Domum or Momentum, which is actually a carpenter type, which makes special buildings as well, which helps you. You'll see if I upgrade this, I'll need all these resources. And the couriers will bring it to the build huts. And here you see one builder is removing the guard tower. We have another one building a bakery, and someone else is upgrading the hospital. And if I click it, you'll see exactly, this is what I got already. The andesite stairs I don't have, and most likely the warehouse will not have it as well, because that's why it's red. So you may consider, do I have andesite with me? I have andesite with me. Great. Let's get them some stairs. So when you see an order for stairs, these are just a few stairs. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a whole stack. So next time they need andesite stairs, they're actually not going to bother me. They just take it. I run into my warehouse. Level 2 already has quite some storage. So that's quite nice. And I'm actually going to drop the stairs here so my couriers can bring it back to the builders. So that's how it works. Basically, in global terms, all the management. At first, you're going to do an insane amount of management yourself, but slowly you're going to do more and more automatically. Now, one of my friends is playing a whole different type. More desert type, which is absolutely fabulous, by the way. It looks amazing. This is just level 1, but level 2 already adds these beautiful pillars. It's going to be a lot more cutting. It's all about the architect's cutter. That's the whole idea. I'll tell you in a minute how it works. I can't operate anything here because everything is protected. You can even remove You do not have permission to do this in this colony. Well, it looks clean and fabulously. You see these farms actually interact with this. I can maybe pick a seed. I don't know. I don't think so. Probably it's going to say you do not have permission. Well, he said 4x4. Well, actually a range of 4 from it. So it's going to be this entire field. Will be carrots, and this is going to be potatoes. This town hall does look a lot more beautiful than mine, not gonna lie. Now, you may wonder, how do I start this mod? Well, let me help you there. So you have 2 types you can get. Either you can have a supply ship or a supply camp. And you probably spawn with the supply camp, actually. If you were to place a supply ship, you can select a style. The camp, of course, the same. So there's going to be 3 on top. They're not bugged. They're really detailed. They're really beautiful. I tried them, but they are not useful at all because you don't get a build tool. You don't get a town hall right from the start. The inventories seem a bit bugged. So you best just go to MineColonies and you take one of these. Of course, we just saw the Desert Oasis and I'm starting the Incans. I thought it was Mayans, but Incans. But there's a lot more types. So that's where you want to start with. You want to start with the type. And it's important that the camp is going to match the actual civilization you're going to do, because the supply camp, it's already there. Supply, it's going to be loaded with supplies specific to this very civilization. Now there's incredibly large amount of things, so there's not going to be anything that you don't like. Since I'm near the water, I will start cavern, for example, and then we can place the supply ship. Now this is your first interaction with the build menu, and you can see I can place a supply map and it already says the blue tiles, that's going to be water. It's going to be placed on water, so it has to be water. You can go up and down. As you can see, even when you're in combat, it will still be there, so it's absolutely fine. As soon as you interact with the supply ship again, you can continue placing it. And it's going to be pretty much like this. I'm going to place it. There you go. Beautiful supply ship spawned for the cavern type. Now, most servers will only have 1 supply camp or ship per person, unless you completely and utterly remove it. Only then, or when an admin or a moderator resets it for you. As you can see, there's going to be somewhere in the inventory that will have a few things. There's a lantern, that's optional, I haven't seen that one before, but you have a build tool and you have a town hall, which is going to be your first building. Town hall, however, is a massive building. You saw it earlier in my camp, I will show you later. So you most likely will not be able to build it very fast, and you don't want to. You really don't want to. With the build tool in hand, you can start building. Now this one is all about harbors, and unfortunately it's night now. With some luck, this actually has a bed for me. Great. Let's sleep. Now this mod pack, besides the building, of course, is stuffed with loot and adventure. There's going to be a humongous amount of places you can plunder, like this castle or a larger dungeon. Now this dungeon is so incredibly large, you'll need a team or you'll need a few days just to clear it, and it's going to be a lot of spawners. There's going to be a lot of spawns. But I'll show you some more of that in a minute. Let's first focus on what we're actually doing here. We have the build tool in hand, and with the build tool we'll start a starting position on a town, for example here. Now the pack is going to be cavern. You can still switch it, but highly advised not to do so. And with that you go to fundamentals. So this one actually has a few sets, which is really interesting. But we'll just go for the default now, and we'll just go with the builder's hut default. It actually makes this pack a little better because you can have so much more. So this is going to be your default builder's hut. Level 1, stone bricks and cobble and basic wood and some barrels. It's going to be really cheap to make. This is your basic pack for builders. So the alternatives are much more expensive actually, as far as I can see. You have the alternative builder's hut. And you have the supply builder, which is really cheap. Oh my god, they just use whatever is your standard block. So you can even make this one of dirt, which is really interesting. So this is your standard block. You can set this later. So you could even make this of dirt. And then you have the mega hall version. And that's just actually made to be placed inside a mountain, as far as I can see. Because you really have these slopes up. So you best do this on the side of a mountain, which is going to look much better. Now, we saw one placeholder already for the ship. That was the water one. This one is the normal placeholder, which means whatever there is, keep it there. If there's nothing, they will clear it. So this whole internal thing, there's going to be a lot of air blocks. You'll see it. That's actually going to be, okay, clear whatever's inside. And you'll see this here as well. So it will also just create a dungeon here. But if you would build in a mountain, it would literally build in a mountain and leave whatever is marked with these blocks as it is. And this one, for the mega hall variant, you'll see this one uses the default block, which is you can set. So you can set it to stone, but it will change the block that's there with the default block. Or you can set it to dirt, which helps you make really cheap ones if you do the other one, the supply builder. You technically, if you have the default block on dirt, you can build this really cheaply with dirt, but it has a lot of windows, so it's actually not going to be that cheap. Now, of course, you can put it up and down. And you want to probably place this one like this or this. Probably like this. Now, later you're going to make the town hall. Mega hall, town hall. The town hall is going to be your final building, which is going to be huge. As you can see here, all the caverns, that is a large building. This mod is really built for mountains. That's awesome, by the way, like a dwarven fortress. The alternative variant is a bit, also really meant for a mountain. Interesting. Gonna take a lot of time for them to work on this, but it's fine. And the default town hall is actually pretty bad. It's pretty simple. Oh, never mind. Level 2 already makes it a lot better. Okay, interesting. So this is what you're going to build eventually, okay? And this is for the cavern, of course. Now you already have the town hall, and every building you build will need a little block. So if I want to build a hut, I will need the pre-block, but it's really cheap. So you also always need the wand. It will never be used, so you always keep it. And then with a door and some wood planks, you'll have a builder's hut. It's really simple to make. And with that builder's hut, you can actually build it. Now the supply ship you started with, you can keep it if you don't want to use it, or you can just craft it away because it's really designed to be used. On the supply ship, if you have a good pack, because the packs are made by people, so they can be changed. If there's a good pack, you'll probably see some hints on how to use the pack, which is also really nice. No, you get some stone, which is also really nice of them. And you get some iron ingots even. Furnace has some coal in it as well, so that's really supply pack. It's designed for you to have some extra tools that you can use. You can even break this instantly. You have a vein miner, but you may want to unset the tilde button. It's normally on because that's also set to another pack. Here you already have an architect cutter, and now we can actually see it from inside. You'll select a block first usually, and then you add one, and then you'll see all the variants of that specific block. So it has a lot more builds actually than usual. A lot of framed blocks, which you will use a lot, and you can just combine it with another one to make framed cobblestone from oak log and cobblestone. When the builder requests an item, they don't need a very advanced building, but when they request, always check the item. If it's from the artisan crafter, you will definitely see which you need to use. So you will very specifically see it's going to be spruce planks, it's going to be the type of framing, it's going to be the frame material, and it's going to be the center material, and you have to follow that to the letter. So that's pretty... You often, like I had a hay bale roof earlier, shingles, and I accidentally made it with hay bales instead of the wheat they use, wheat extra, which is a lot cheaper. And I actually had to use these, but I used the normal hay bales, which actually cost 9 grain for one hay bale. So that's actually really focus on what you really need for the mod you're playing. This one has some wooden tools as well. So the supply ship and a lot of food, nice. Supply ship will give you everything you really need. Here's some chainmail, saplings. Very well. This is a very good supply ship. So that's why I say use the MineColonies starter packs. They're much better. They actually have supplies. I tried the other ones. So I tried the Byzantine and the Nile, and they both had beautiful starter packs. That's with all frame blocks and everything. But the problem was they didn't have any items in the chests. I don't know what it was. Just don't use them. Just take one of the default packs. We also have some wool for you when you need it. And you have a lot of logs here as well. But you can just keep the ship as well. There's some stuff in the chests which you can use. Just use that if you want. And then keep the ship intact because it looks absolutely stunningly beautiful as well. So you can just keep the ship if you want. Or you just can destroy it. Now you're going to have a lot of items. But luckily there will be backpacks. And you can upgrade these as well. So I automatically pick up things in the backpack. And I also feed myself from the backpack, which works really well. And there's also a lot of legendary weapons. For example, this throwing one, but I also have a legendary Ice Whisper, which will do continuous AoE around me, which is a bit risky to use in your own city. But you see, I'll pop it very slowly. But I also have a right click, which does a lot of damage. And then I'll just kill everything around me. Well, on a cooldown, of course, but also a very powerful one. Other than that, I have Kitty Slippers, so creepers run away from me, which is the most crazy thing ever. Which you, of course, have with baubles. So I have a head one, apply an extra level of looting. I have a Power Glove, which gives me 4 attack damage even when being unarmed. And the Kitty Slippers, of course, and the backpack. But I usually use this one on bosses, and why is because I can't just use right click on this one easily. But when you do it on bosses with a lot of health, you start accumulating stacks on it, and then you can right click and do a ton of more damage for a pretty long time on subsequent mobs. So it's a really powerful weapon as well. And of course I try to keep mending on most of my tools. This one has mending. This one doesn't have yet. That's why it's a bit wounded. So it needs mending as well as soon as possible. So that's basically how it works. Your last building always stays on your wand. So if you place something and you haven't confirmed it, and there's actually a lot, there's so much more. You know, like little Fletcher huts, there's actually built inside to, oh, that's really handy. It actually doesn't need much. They'll spend a lot of time in this pack specifically digging it out. So you have to be really careful with that. Now let's talk a bit about the people. If they need something, you'll see something above their head. For example, your builder. And he'll say, I'll need 1 stone slab. You could have already seen it if you were checking his scroll, because I linked a scroll to it. He does need the stone slab. There's going to be a little bit different, so you have the ones that he already has. If the warehouse supplies it, you'll see a little green icon. Can't see it right now, but you'll see it if you start a new one. And that means they're already bringing it. So all he needs is a stone slab. For some reason, I never had stone slabs, or they run out of stone slabs in the warehouse. Now later, you'll have tool builders that will do all that for you. But for now, you'll have to just make sure everything is there. Is this on the side? We'll quickly make some slabs. Now I have it. So your thing would be green. You have it with you, so you could bring it. And if I put it in the warehouse, I don't see a courier right now. I saw that, oh, this courier is here. I'm now going to put it in the warehouse, the slabs. And then you see someone coming. And now you see the green icon that it's being brought currently by your courier. So then you know, okay, the courier is bringing it, I don't have to do it. So it's really important to use some of the scrolls for that. Now, then you have, for example, woodcutter, which makes sure there's wood. And as you can see, since yesterday, it got 31 spruce logs, 10 oak logs, which is absolutely awesome. You'll have an inventory, which is currently empty, but he'll have an inventory as well. I see you're working yourself to death, crafting all these stairs and planks. It's about time you get a sawmill. So they already says to me, you have to build a sawmill so you don't have to do it yourself, which is awesome. Now, when they start working, they'll level up their skills in the stats they actually use. Now you see he has a lot of saplings with him as well. He got an axe. I make sure there's enough axes. He could go to iron already on level 2 building, but well, he's happy about the food. He doesn't like the guards, even though we have like 7, so that's kind of weird. But then he has 1 guard here next to him. Well, we can work on that. They want a lot of guards. You have a restaurant. That's why they get the food. That's why they're happy. And you have a cook there who will have food with them, which will give to others. And the inventory will also have plenty of food. The good thing about this mod is they have the SDM shop, which has a lot of cheesecake. So if you're worried about food, just get some money. You'll get it automatically when you're doing stuff. And then you can just buy some from here and give it to them. You have to add them as recipe, however. Like, you have to tell them, okay, you can serve these things. And you also start with a little tavern, which will house your first citizens. They can live there. And of course, in the town hall, you can see everything, and you can actually send people to upgrade from here as well. So that's really handy. You see all the guard towers. There's no builders assigned currently because they're working I was working on the mystical side as well. Here are my builder's huts. This one is level 3. And these two are level 2. A level 3 builder can upgrade a building to level 3. And a level 2 can only upgrade it to level 2, of course. So it's going to be important to upgrade these first, which can always be upgraded automatically. And it's also the only building that can be built without an actual builder hut. So a builder can just build its own building. But to get more buildings besides the essentials, because you had the few fundamentals actually to call it, these can all be built directly, except for the hospital. But if you want to go further, you're going to need to research, and that's actually massive. So it requires items. But for example, I learned higher learning, which unlocks the school, unlocked ambition, which unlocks the mystical side, and there's also remembrance, for example, all on level 1. So the university is still level 1. It needs to be level 2 to actually get the next one. I don't really need a graveyard. I did do the stamina, of course, for the hospital, because I don't want to do that ever again myself. And the library I also unlocked. And you also have the combat, which unlocks the barracks. Avoidance I can learn, so they start using shields, which is interesting. You can just drop all the armor into the warehouse and they'll automatically take it, or it's get brought to them. Knights become more... That's actually interesting, because this is you have knights, archers, and druids, for my people at least. And the druids really die a lot, so knights really are needed to take the damage, while the druids can heal, etc. But they're really weak. My builder just finished the baker, which is interesting. So I want to go there real fast. And I did make a bakery. I don't know if I have people there, but I do see my builder there. Bakery was rather simple. So this is kind of interesting. Oh, I already have a baker, so I had enough people. And now you can actually give it recipes. So he says with butter I can make manchet dough. And with water I can make flatbread. So you see he needs durum wheat, which is special wheat. And he can also make water bottles if I give him large bottles. Okay. Then he has smelting recipes, muffin dough and bread dough, so he can just make bread as well, which is nice. So I just have to figure out how to make butter, because if you look at my storage and you look at the wheat, I have 532 durum wheat, which I've been working on for a long time, and the one who's been building this is my farm. I have a little chicken farm here, but it's a bit retarded because he just keeps letting the chickens go. That doesn't mean I don't have a lot of eggs, because that's the fun part. Whenever something walks past something, so one of you guys walks past a loot from a mob or loot from a chicken, it will just always pick it up and bring it to the warehouse. So it's kind of nice. It just leaves you with a lot of crap. But so the farm is already level 3. I've been focusing that one. And there's one field with durum, which is kind of nice. I put it to 1 and 3 and 5 and 5, which means it can go 1 this side, else it goes to the other one, and 5 to the sides. Then we have onions on this field. I have a plan with this. And the third field has garlic. So that's gonna be my farm, which will ensure me I will have all the resources I need to be self-sufficient in a minute, thanks to my baker. Now, my baker needs large bottle, it said, to get water. And that gonna cost me a lot of glass. I don't really like that, but I hope he can reuse it, which does mean I have to get some sand, I have to get some glass, I have to get a stack or 2 bottles for him ready. Yes, I always have a barrel with paints. I've been learning to do that for so long now. Because for some reason you always need paint, and these guys need a lot of paint. Like the green beds for the hospital, etc. All these things. I also have barracks now, which I will upgrade later. And I have a massive wall around my camp, of course. And since I built the wall, I haven't really lost anyone yet. So most will be stuck around this side of the wall. The rest of the town will be lit up plenty. And there's been some raids. Sometimes you get attacked by barbarians, etc. Well, they are not really a problem. The only problem I may have is this pit of darkness, because as you can see there are actually zombies inside my camp. I don't even know if they can get up there because it's pretty steep everywhere. So it's not the biggest problem. No, they can't get up there, it's too steep. But I will build smelters here later. It's already placed stonemason hut. and a stone smeltery, and the smeltery will make like bricks and stones from cobble, and the masonry will make crafted panels, etc. So that's future project. This one is pretty dark around the thing, so I have to check that. But and then I have a little wheat farm myself just to supply all the roofs for all the buildings. It's gonna be up to level 3. I thought level 4 is the most beautiful for Mayans, I think, and then level 5 will actually be less beautiful. For this you can make builder's goggles. With the goggles you can see what it will become and you can anticipate on it later. So you see the warehouse level 3 will be quite beautiful. And if I remove the goggles, you see this is what it's now, but it's also gonna need a lot of roofs. So that's absolutely nice. Later on level 5, the Mayans will start using terracotta. And to be quite honest, it doesn't impress me. It doesn't impress me at all. Because it looks too colorful, for my opinion. I think you can see it if you overlap something. This builder's hut, level 3 is beautiful. Level 4 is still decent. Level 5 is also decent. There we go. Okay, sometimes when you when you build something inside of another building, it will warn you that there's another building. As you can see, now I see the max level of my town hall. It's too much color for me. It's like too much color. It becomes almost tacky. So I don't know if I'm gonna like that too much, but I'll probably linger a long time on 4. And then eventually make it level 5. Now you can also see your protected border of your town. This is where other people can't do anything unless you give them specific permission in your town hall. You can also hire mercenaries if you're being attacked and you can't handle it, but I have like 6 guards, so it's fine. I have 5 knights. Now as you can see, 359 blocks are delivered. 150 are mined. Actually, maybe fun to show you. The mine is actually really impressive. And important, of course, to get items. This little building is a mine, but look what he's building. He's gonna need some items at first, but then he starts to build these things, these floors. Well, that looks like a lot of resources are being used for absolutely a shitty floor, but that's actually not how it works. You see a little thing? Mine level 2, I60, nodes 0. I upgraded it fast, so it already starts digging deeper. Now, once it makes its center node, so the mine level 4, it starts tunneling. Now, this is actually mine, but did you make a gate in here? Well, it doesn't matter. It starts tunneling into a certain direction. So it starts strip mining, basically, which will give you a lot of resources, of course. It will also warn you if it's like low level and it has something that needs to be mined with, for example, diamond X. It will say, hey, I have a block here I can't do. Can you do it or can you upgrade me? So there's 4 public servers you can join just to test it out, or you can just host a little server for you and your friends, of course, yourself. Well, the modpack is called Ancient Kingdom 3 on CurseForge. And you just Google if you want to make a server yourself. There's going to be hosters for like €8 a month just to play it. It's very stable. It works really well. I haven't seen many bugs. So I hope you like it. I love this actually because I don't like all the... we tried all the mods earlier and it's just only progression. It's no fun for me. I like the building, the managing and everything. And all the mod 10 is just progress. Oh, we're done. Same as maybe Vault Hunters 2, maybe different. But this one is my kind of thing. I love that. Like this management, these city buildings. Well, this is my kingdom. For now. Will become bigger, but I'm running out of space. But I have to do something about this mountain. I think I can build... I'm working on a plantation now to get up the mountain, so maybe interesting. I don't know yet. I'm just thinking what to do. Maybe I just make a new section, an outer section. Should be fine. Probably should have turned the town hall around, but now it's at least safer. So I will definitely expand this way, so there's going to be a lot of this mountain. It's just going to be burned away. All I need is food and vein miner and I'm good, so... Food and vein miner, that's all you need in life. I have some elephants as well, which is kind of handy. Early on they would just kick everything away from that corner that spawned, so... Obviously I didn't build the walls myself, they've been doing that for me. So there's like a lot of decoration parts. And as soon as you place them, and you have your glasses on, for example this, I will see it, because it's in construction. this helps you a lot placing the next part next to it. So you see exactly why the one part is going to be. The only problem with decorations is you can't just cancel them here, because normally you'll have a little building that will help you cancel it. For normal buildings, you have the building inside. For example, this table, if I need to cancel it, remove it, I just go to build options and deconstruct whatever I need. Same as how I deconstructed this one. But for decorations, you actually have to run to your town hall again. Here you'll see in work orders, you'll see it there. So you can just remove it there and then be gone. So that's a little tip. I'm gonna say thank you for watching. I think you get the gist on how it works. The glasses will help you see what is to come. Make sure you build those as well. But don't think you're there yet, just because you can see it. I hope you enjoyed this review. It's a bit different. It's not really a game, it's a mod pack. It's my channel, I can do whatever I want, right? Passion above everything. See you in the next one, next week. Thank you for watching.